tuned to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Yes, good evening, good evening. It is all about Reasoning Thursdays each and every Thursdays, right here on the Powerhouse Radio with yours truly, Lady D. You have Darespecta, you have Queen each and every Thursday, man. We was MIA last week, and for each and every one that knows what's going on, we have a death in the family, and definitely went and gave support to my nieces, as we should do. My sister-in-law passed away, and man, I'm telling you, so much, so much. You just have to love each other and embrace each of other, because tomorrow, the next second, the next minute is not promised to any of us. Sending my love and my prayers go out to my children, and to my in-laws, on the death of their aunt. I'm leaving to go to one funeral, got a call that the next one passed. So just love. We have to just love the people whom are in our lives, and grudges and whatever where persons are holding, just let it go. Just let it go, because life is too short. At my sister-in-law funeral, I heard her sister say that she haven't spoken with her for years, and the week before she just said to herself, let her go on and just go visit her sister, and squash things out. You know what I'm saying? And she said, not knowing that the next week her sister would not be here. you know so time waits on no one, so let's not waste time. Let's just not waste time. Embrace each and every minute, each and every second, each and every moment, and just drop that call, and pick up that phone, and release all the grudges and the negative energies and those things through the window. Love for 2024 and onward. Alrighty, folks. Love. Well, welcome once again to Reasoning Thursdays. Each and every Thursdays, right here on the Powerhouse Radio. We have some hot topics. But before we get into those topics, we definitely have Queen on the line, and we have Darespecta on the line. So let me give them a chance to say welcome to their listeners. Queen,
Welcome, people.
go
Welcome,
ahead,
everyone.
Darespecta.
Welcome.
Darespecta.
Thanks for joining us. I'm hoping and praying that you guys are living accordingly, and that the stress and struggle don't hold on to you in a painful way. It's a lot that many of us are going through. So just keep fighting. Laugh and joke and smile.
Yes,
Thanks for joining us.
definitely laugh, joke, and smile, and just love of one another. You know what I'm saying? Just keep loving of one another. Man, numbers right here. When we get ready to open the line is 706-955-2001. So just jot it down from now. How about that? Jot it down from now. Alrighty. Yes. Topics, reasoning topics. Well, we're gonna touch a little bit about that Diddy thing. I know maybe everyone getting sick and tired of seeing Diddy. Like Diddy is the only one around, no? And the only news. But it's hot news. It's hot news. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about that and how we're feeling about that and then things there. And in our hotlines, Putin. Wait a minute. What did Putin say? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what he says. And unnecessary road rage. Yeah, man. We definitely have to touch that as well. Man. And, airline bumping. What is that? What is it all about? And how can you get back at them? Yeah. Is there a way to do that? I don't know. We're going to talk about that as well, man. And what makes a child want to kill its parent? Mental health. Yeah. And man, the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Yeah, I know you've seen that everywhere as well, and you might be tired of that as well. But just a snippet of it, just a snippet, a little bit of that we're gonna be touching as well. Yes, man. So let us just go on and dive into it, welcoming each and every one once again. If you've got a link, share the link, share the link, share the link. Tell a friend, family, and a colleague. Yeah, that we are here. Okay, that we are here. Alrighty, so definitely big up yourself, Mama Acid. Ah, big up yourself. Mama Acid says she's gonna be checking in. Yeah, Llewellyn, Paula Llewellyn's in the headline. Is she's getting out of here? Are they gonna throw her to the curb or what? I don't think so. I don't think Paula Llewellyn's going anywhere. I don't think she's going anywhere. But we'll see. We will see. We will see. We will see what is going to happen. Mama Acid says yes on that. But yeah, we definitely want to see if her time is up. Did this Vibes Cartel thing put her in that loop that is now time to hang herself? Huh? Yeah. So let's dive on in there. Let's dive on in. Where are we gonna start? Where are we gonna start at? Where are we gonna kick it off at? Queen, the respecter. Where are we kicking it off at?
Let's start with how about the Black Jesus? It's the Easter week.
Well, yeah, that's yeah. We could talk. I think that's a little bit more intense. Let's get through with the Baltimore Bridge collapse.
All right.
All right, and let's get through with the airlines. All right, and
Mm-hmm.
let's get through with then we hit up on the Black Jesus and go from there. And let's get over with the shooting on the unknown road rage, right? And then we can fill it up
Mm-hmm.
with the Diddy's and the Jesuses and the Putin statements and all of those things. All right. All right. So the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Just want to send our prayers out to the families that have been affected by that. Lost a family and the ones whom are in the hospital, the ones who are in critical condition. You know, um, I'm just not even understanding how a tragedy like that could take place
Well,
because
they say that it's mechanical failure. That's what they're saying. That for some reason the control valves or control whatever it is mechanism wasn't working, and they radioed. It would have been a lot more people dead if they did not get that radio in time, but they radioed him that they were having that issue and to stop anyone from going on the bridge. But then, of course, those workers were already on the bridge. They were paving the roadway on the bridge. I say it's so sad. Yesterday they found two more bodies, so four of them still missing because there were six of them that was missing. It is just
I'm just
so
thinking to
so
myself,
sad.
what is a boat like that doing on the on that on that
But
on that
it's a
waterway.
normal route. It's a normal. That's where the channel it goes through, importing and exporting goods. Right now, they're having problems, issues because they're losing so billions of dollars. They're losing each
Who
day
cares
since
about the
the
money?
bridge has been down. Huh?
That's good. Who cares about the money they're losing at this point? Somebody died.
Yeah, but that's what they're.
Not even
You
somebody,
understand what I'm
several people
saying?
passed.
But they're still bringing that issue up. You see,
To hell with
because
them.
that's a main channel for goods to go back and forth. Now this is just a freak accident. They claim this never happened before, where the boat went in out of control, and evidently it must have hit one of the barge or whatever you, and it collapsed. The bridge collapsed. Evidently used to go straight through, but it went into the barge, hit the barge, and the whole bridge
And
collapsed.
the whole bridge collapsed. Man, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, we just have to. That's why in my earlier statement I made the statement that we just have to. We definitely just have to just give thanks for life each and every day. We just have to give thanks for life each and
Yeah.
every day, and just
Yeah.
love the person, the people whom are in our life. Big ups to you, Don. Don Minot says, "Good evening, Lady D,
Good
and the
evening,
panel. Big up yourself,
uh,
Don. Man, I'm telling you, yeah. So we just definitely have to embrace
yeah,
the
and they
people
had
in our
family,
lives.
they had
Yeah,
families, children, they had children. One of them, he was the main supporter for his family. It so happened that the ones that they called their Hispanic,
yeah.
and
Well,
they said they came
definitely.
here to better their life, and
Yeah, and you
you
know
know,
that those type of work, you're gonna have Hispanics, you're gonna have um third
Mhm.
world country individuals coming over and trying to make a better life for their family because
Yeah,
you know they
yeah,
do the bottom of the line type of job. So as
yeah,
people may call it. And
yeah,
so yeah, definitely we have to keep them in our prayers. And
yeah.
I don't know if if they have a fund going on to assist with any burials or anything such as, but I encourage our listeners to definitely search, and if you can donate, because
Mhm.
that is definitely a tragedy that
Yes,
has
that's
taken
tragic.
place. Yeah, and I feel like all of those boats and all of those things need to have a backup system. What happened to the
Mhm.
backup systems on these boats, and you know on this particular boat, especially boats that are going through areas such as that, bridges, and
Yeah,
I mean, to
remembering.
lose control like that is, I hope that the investigation um bring forth a lot of things. So man, I'm telling you,
It's just
it's a
like the
sad thing.
Panama Canal. I was watching a documentary where they were talking about the water diminishing, you know, and them big boats. You see how they go through. I think you had experienced it. I'm not sure, but when you go there, you can see the boat them going through that little space.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that the water is diminishing, so it's a whole lot of stuff
They
with these
they're
boats
gonna
and
they're
things.
gonna try they're gonna try and say
Yeah.
everything that to take the blame off themselves. They don't want to be liable
Mm.
for it. But according to the video that I saw, whoever is driving it, they were too close in making that turn.
Mm.
Expert person is going to be in the middle of the water, regardless of low or high the water is. They're going to be in the middle and gradually making their turn. They're not going to make it close up against the columns like that. They're liable for it. And they're worrying about the billions they're losing right now because of whatever packages and stuff. They need to worry about the billions they're going to lose for being at fault.
Yeah,
Well,
the
the
medical.
city said they're gonna build it back. So the
Not
city,
good enough.
the
Lies,
city said,
lies are gone.
the, the city said,
They should talk about
it's
this.
that black guy. It's the black guy now is the mayor for there now, right? The governor.
Cream, cream,
What's his name? I
cream.
forgot his name. But he said he's they're gonna build it back.
Queen, none of that is matter because you listen to what they're talking first. All that they're saying, they're not saying that these lives and the families and the loved ones of these people are not here no more. They're not talking in any care and love and respect for those people and their families. How they're going to compensate the families in the meantime? We're relying on the workers, the fathers, the husband, whoever they are. They're not talking in favor of those people who are not here no more. They're not showing grief when they're supposed to. They're talking about other things. And somebody's loved one somewhere is bawling their eyeballs out, wondering how we're going to pay the bills. They're doing it backwards. And it's sickening. They're thinking about profit and loss, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you know the industry. They're gonna do that. I mean, that's how the state make their money too, by those boats going through them and getting a profit off of it. So, I mean,
So we'll definitely continue to watch and see what the outcome is.
What's gonna happen
on that, and I'm hoping that this shipping company is going to cover the expenses of for these families, and so we'll watch and see. We do have a caller.
Hello.
Okay, because I was like, I know that number. Greetings, greetings. How you doing?
Greetings, team. How y'all doing?
Greetings.
Greetings to you. Greetings. I was like,
Hello,
I
hello,
know
hello.
that
Y'all
number.
sounding strong tonight.
Yeah. we
Hey,
strong.
but I gotta stand in. I gotta stop y'all.
We strong every night. What's up?
Y'all strong every night.
Yeah, every
Absolutely.
Thursday.
Thank you,
Okay, because
thank you.
we already know GA Powerhouse Radio rules the internet way.
Okay.
So, Queen and Darespecta, I love y'all so much. I would hug y'all like the biggest teddy bear in the world. But I want to give y'all some bigger love.
Yeah.
First, the governor's name is Wes Moore. He's a Democrat, and yes, he is a black man, as well as Brandon, who is the mayor of Baltimore. Now, they immediately came out when the Coast Guard decided they wanted to suspend the search and the rescue, and they were only going to start doing recovery. And they said immediately, I have to say that they said this on the first night. It doesn't matter what the families need, they are going to be taken care of and compensated, and they will not have to worry about anything. The families don't have a GoFundMe set up because the governor has guaranteed taking care of all of that.
Well,
They
that
were
is awesome.
all either green card holders or U.S. citizens who had either converted because they apparently, this family,
at this
the
point,
one,
I'm not even going to cut you, but at this point, whether they're green card holders or not, they are working there. This company has hired them. All of their expenses should be paid. It doesn't matter.
no doubt.
They know that. They
No
know
doubt.
that illegals be working. They know a lot of illegal people, persons be working and stuff like that. So they shouldn't even add in that statement in regards
That's
to
who we're
green card
directing it at,
holders
the
or
GOP.
any of that.
Exactly, Lady
Yeah,
D.
they shouldn't
That's
even
where I
add
wanted
that
to
in
go.
there. Yeah, they shouldn't even add that
Okay,
in
so the GOP try to stir up some crap. So here we go, the respecter. The GOP and Marjorie Taylor Greene says this ship's computerized systems were taken over by the cyber terrorists. So that's not true. The ship lost power. These large ships like this, if there's no power from the engine, the ship is totally hydraulic. That means it has to have power in order to operate the rudder, in order to have control. Within 5 minutes, after they hit the lane they were supposed to be in, they lost power.
But
Once they lost power, they lost
yeah,
the ability to get back in their lane. So they were drifting. Think of your car on black
yeah,
ice.
we know all of that, Acid. What I'm just saying is, with those big ships and all of those things, they need to have backup systems, especially when they're in the line of civilians, when they're in
There's
the
no way they'll
line
be
of
able to.
bridges and all of those
They can't
things.
do that on a. They okay. I'm gonna tell you that
Mhm.
I I had to first understand this. Then I called somebody who works on anyway. They're a merchant marine. They work on these types of ships. And I asked them some questions, and then I asked someone who's a master. That's a person who's a captain of a
Okay.
freighter. And this person explained two things to me that I didn't understand. One is that once the fuel in the tank is bad, if the ship loses power, it also has a ballast release, which means that it's going to take in water when it stops because it has a constant recirculation in order to keep it floating. And
Okay.
the second part of it is that the
I
fuel has been tested and they found that the fuel is tainted and they got the fuel in Baltimore. So
okay.
the question is the fuel the real
The
problem?
cause
And
of that.
that, and also the design of the bridge not having any dolphins. Those are those little structures that are supposed to be
Right.
around it
Whatever
to
it
protect
is,
it.
whether it's the fuel, whether it's the dolphins, whether it's
Oh, it's all of
whatever,
that.
I'm glad that the mayor and all of
The
Governor
them
and
governor.
is
mayor.
going to cover the
Hmm.
cost of the funeral. And as I've said, because
Right.
I don't even care about all the technical part of it. There's
Yeah.
lives that was lost,
Well,
and just hoping that they are definitely going to cover, whether they're legal green card holders or not. They were
Okay,
workers
but
for that
back to the
state.
GOP, Didi.
Hmm.
Back to the GOP. Why are they doing this when this is a national tragedy?
Because that's the
Why would
GOP.
they do that?
Because that's the
No,
GOP.
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
They
no,
ask you.
no,
You
fight
no.
know
against
why?
No, I'm
illegals.
You know
asking
why?
some Georgia people. I'm asking as a
Well,
person who is actually a Georgia resident, but not presently.
But
I
that's
want to
okay.
know why y'all
That's
think they're doing this.
They do that
Her
because
specifically.
that's their mentality, period. That's their stupid mentality, especially when you call the name of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I wouldn't even I wouldn't even elaborate on her, and I wouldn't even want to know why they doing it. The bottom line is there's lives that was lost. All right. There was lives that were lost, and I'm just praying and hoping that they take care of these families that was affected by all of this. Marjorie, I don't give her a grain
They're
of salt.
raising money. They're using these people to raise money for the GOP for her re-election campaign.
Okay. I don't care. I'm not giving Marjorie no more publicity or anything like that. I just don't even want to study her, to be truthful.
Mama asked it.
Uh-huh.
What
Yes.
you said about informing us about the governors and the mayor's decency is
Hmm.
more than valuable.
Yeah, I don't even want to
I needed
study,
to know that.
because if we go into Marjorie, we will never move on, because she's just a
No,
total fool. And
no. Donald Trump is now selling the Bible with the Constitution in
oh
it.
yeah, he's selling, and he's selling sneakers. I mean, like, he's doing everything there is to do to
He gotta make
get
that
support.
money.
All right.
He
Yeah.
gotta make
So
up that
I mean,
money.
when it comes to the politics part of it, on this situation right here, I'm not even flowing on the politics of it. I'm just focusing on the lives that were lost, and hoping that these people, if not the state of both the Maryland, then the owners for this ship that crashed into the bridge will take
They
responsibility and cover the expenses of all individuals that were involved in this catastrophe.
They're going to do that. They're going to
Okay.
do that,
Yeah.
Judy. That's that
And
is not
that's
even a discussion item.
yeah.
But
And
the
that's where we
deal
at.
that's really important is how much this is going to cost for the repairs to restructure that bridge, and why are the Republicans now not wanting to participate in this when they claimed they were trying to make America better
Once again, I don't
structurally?
care about
We
any
shouldn't care about
politics.
that. We shouldn't
I
care about
don't
that.
care about any politics in regards to this catastrophe that has happened. Whatever the GOP wants to do with it, whatever the Democrats want to do with it, that's up to them to do with it. All I'm concerned about is the lives that were lost and that these families are being compensated, taking care. Although you can't compensate a one for a life, but you
And
can make their yeah, you can
we
make their
can't
life
answer
a little
Mama
bit
ask this
better.
question for her because she know the answers to all the questions
Exactly.
she
She
asked.
already know the answer, so I don't see why she's trying to
Yes.
have us to answer
No,
it.
not necessarily, because in some cases I'm asking for opinion. Like right now, asking why they are fundraising on people's deaths. The
Hmm.
curiosity in that is that right now, trauma porn is the largest slice of the media. It's the largest slice of the media.
Well, let them go on and porn on themselves and have a and if it lets them win and make money, then kudos to them. As long as they take care of these families
Yeah.
that have been
Right.
affected by this catastrophe. If they want to raise money, if that's how they want to do their thing, who am I to say? Who am I to stop them? Who are we to stop them? Who what are we going to say on this program that is going to change their mind, their perspective on things? It's so I wouldn't even waste any more of the time on a Marjorie Green or a GOP and why they're doing what they're doing because that's what they do. That's just what they do. Honestly, that's just
Well,
what they do. So
the
we're
amount of
gonna,
distraction, though,
yeah,
away
let them
from the
go on and
real
do whatever
issue,
distractions that they want to do. The only thing that
the
I'm
real
focused on is
the other questions about the
mhm,
economics of what happened. How much is it going to cost? And how the projections for the repairs are going to affect the people of Baltimore and the entire East Coast.
that's for
Because this is an
them.
economic.
That's for them to worry about. I'm not worrying about that on this particular program right now. All I'm
But it's
worrying
not
about
worry.
is
It's the curiosity of
I'm
how
not,
this money is going to all of a sudden come about.
and I'm not curious. I'm not
It doesn't
curious.
matter.
I don't know if Queen's curious. I don't know if the Respecter curious. I don't know if a
I
lot of our
understand.
listeners are curious. I know you're curious, but I'm not. And
I
to sit
understand.
on this topic is going to be dragged out. And the only
Yeah.
thing we were doing was really wanting to mention about what took place and hoping that the individual's family will be compensated in some form of way for this tragedy. The rest of the politics that's involved in it and how they're going to pay for it, obviously they're going to pay for it through taxpayers' money, and if that's what they do, that's what they do. I'm not here to do it. Well, I'm not here. I don't know about anyone else to decipher what they doing because we have a lot more other topics to discuss more than deciphering what the GOP, Marjorie Green Taylor, and the whole darn Republicans and Trump and all of them wants to capitalize off of this tragedy.
I think I think we can end it by saying that the governor and the mayor is on top of it.
Yeah, and
So
and
no matter
and
what the
they'll
GOP does, they're not gonna prosper.
yeah, and that's it. They're just gonna control. They're gonna take over as they made the promises to take care of these family members, and I think that's what we need to focus on. The rest of it, I'm not straining my head on it because I didn't even research it, and I don't want to go into something I didn't even research to know what we're getting at and what we're talking about and to give a logical opinion on something such as, you know. So we could move on to airlines, and the airlines and Queen had a situation on the airlines with airlines bumping, and
Yes,
yeah, so
yes,
you wanna address that one real quickly?
yes. I had a terrible experience. I'm not even gonna call the airline. I booked a flight and I went to, to my sister-in-law's funeral. Anyway, on my way back, I had a flight that was scheduled for 10:54 departure. Anyway, I received a text stating that the flight was delayed and it would be going out till 12 o'clock that night. Got to the airport. When we got to the airport, there was quite a bit of people around the counter, and we went up there and told them that we were checking in and what have you. He said, turned to us and said to us, "Oh, you can't check in. We're not taking anyone else on the plane. You had to have checked in 24 hours prior to you boarding the flight." So my son said to him, "Well, I've never heard of that before. Normally, you have up until an hour to check in to board a flight." He proceeded to say the same. There were several people, at least 20 people, because
Contact.
what happened, some of them did check in, but they're saying that there was no one to check the baggage, their luggage. So therefore, they cannot separate them from the luggage. So these folks that had checked in, they didn't have a seat either because they couldn't leave their luggage. So,
Well,
and it's
basically,
all
it's like a
overbooking. They
strategy.
overbook.
Basically, it's like a strategy that they're
Yeah,
using
yeah.
to not
But
have
yeah,
anyone to get on the flight because they definitely overbooked. They
yeah.
overbooked the flight. First of all, they made an error with sending you an email state or a text or what have you,
Mhm.
stating that the flight was delayed when the flight was never delayed, you know.
Yeah.
And if it was
Hmm.
delayed, they had already boarded. In my experiences in airlines, you have to check in, I think, an hour before, or before the gate closes, before they start
Right.
boarding. After they start boarding, you may not be able to get on the flight, which I've seen persons get on the flight even though when they're boarding, you know. but
Yeah.
but
They
the
open the door.
the
I've seen
yeah,
where they open the
but
door. So
the
yeah.
thing about that, they have there's a email that you sent to us in regards to ways that you can beat the system. And
Hmm.
that's a great thing right there, with finding ways to beat the system, such as the gentleman, you want to give some example as to that? The gentleman said that don't leave the airport, and question, because if your flight was like $300, they overbooked, you can get almost three times the amount back. Is that, you want to elaborate a little bit on that part of it, Queen?
Yeah, but that did not work for us. As a matter of fact, we end up having now we could have gotten on a flight, but they're telling us that this flight we couldn't get on it till Tuesday. Now here we are. This is Sunday. We're supposed to be getting on this flight, and they're telling us that we wouldn't be able to get on another flight until Tuesday because all the others are booked up.
So
We end up
were they
having
willing
because
to
my
compensate you for waiting until
they were
Tuesday?
that's what they claim. But what they did was, and a lot of people I know will be calling in because what they did was they gave us a piece of paper. It's like when you photocopy a little thin little piece of paper they gave us. And when they gave us that, they told us that we should scan it and follow the instructions on it. My son tried scanning it and it wouldn't go through. So what he did was when we got down to Atlanta, he went into the desk, the front desk, and he told them what was going on and what happened, what transpired in terms of us not being able. We had to pay an extra $181 to get a flight on another airline to come back to Georgia because he had to go to work. I mean, each, and that's each, 181 each, plus, what we had paid for the airline. And now he's still having problem with them refunding his money, even though we didn't check in on the flight. Because someone was saying if you had checked in, they can hold on to the money. But we did not check in. We didn't get a chance to check in.
I would say you all need to
It's a
start
way
writing
of
letters.
scamming. It's a scamming because some people won't go through the process and they'll just say, "Oh, forget it." But
Right. And
it's a serious
that's as
thing.
well with you booking another flight. Because then they're going to say you went and you booked another flight. You didn't want to wait on them. They offered you an alternative, but within the alternative, I would have asked, okay, are you going to cover my accommodations? Are you going to cover my wages? I mean, because this is your error. And maybe you all need to come to the point where you write a complete letter
Well,
to this
people were
airline.
saying that there was this one particular woman. She was very, very loud, and she let it be known that she knew the law and what have you. And they went and got the police for her.
Okay.
I mean,
And what did the police do?
It was. I would never ride on that, fly on that
But
airline
what
again.
did the police do?
He stood there, and telling her to calm down and what have
Because
you.
that's all he
He
could do.
didn't
She
arrest
didn't threaten.
anyone, but
She
he
didn't
kept
threaten
telling her
anyone.
to calm down. It was at least 20 people, and I can't understand. That's a lot of overbooking. It was at least 20 people,
Yeah.
and they used the suitcase. You not being able to put your suitcase on that flight and separation from the suitcase
Well, I'm
as
hoping that you all don't.
ploy.
I'm hoping that
As
you
a
all
ploy.
don't just let it go. And I'm a stickler for airlines. I don't fly on any airline, and I'm very sorry to say it. I don't fly on any airline besides Delta. When I see all of these, my sister doesn't. My other sister, she has no problem with Southwest, and I don't know why you don't call that airline name, because this is not slanderous. This is something that took place on this particular airline, whatever it was, Frontier or whoever they were. That this took place on is not slander. It's a situation that happened with you. I don't use any other airline besides Delta. I'm very sorry. And if there's a situation, they compensate and they do what they're supposed to. Well, in my experience, they do what they are supposed to do. So no matter, sometimes the ticket, it costs a lot more, but sometimes when I look at the cost and look at what a lot of people go through with these smaller airlines, and I think that persons look at these smaller, these supposed to be low cost airlines, and they're not looking at the big picture of it. Because if you are being charged for every single thing in their mother on this airline, these little pocketbooks that they want you to use, and then they want to charge you for everything, you might as well book your ticket on Delta and get it over with. I mean, so for me, I'm really apologetic to your experience and what you went through, especially in the time of grief, that you had to be faced with all of this madness, and still you all are still dealing with this craziness. So I would just say you need to start writing some letters, and someone needs to just be on the phone and be persistent. And as we talked about week before last, climbing ladders. Sometimes we just need to start climbing ladders. Listen, I don't want to talk to you, customer service. Give me a supervisor. Supervisor, I don't want to talk to you. Give me somebody else. And keep climbing the ladder until you all get some type of results, because you work hard for your money and you can't just throw your money away just like that.
Go like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be my advice.
He's pursuing it.
Go ahead, Darespecta.
Let's see.
If that was to ever happen to me, I would instantly. There's no way you can be exchanging English with English in those situations. You gotta do some more clack, and change up on
Well,
them,
that's what
and
that's
even
what the Indian.
and even confuse them. Even though you're black or you're Thai, confuse them.
That's that's
That's
that's why
crazy upon them.
that's why they call the police on her. She's Indian, but young. She looks like she in her 30s, 40s, but vibrant. And
That's
she
it.
Indian, and man, she was whipping the bad one. Them.
Acid, you want to touch
She's
that?
you can see she's a real New Yorker. You know?
Acid, you want to touch that airline situation? No? Alrighty.
Uh,
Okay, shooting on. We're gonna move on from the airlines.
I think
Unknown.
that sometimes
Go ahead.
people don't know that there's an airline bill of rights,
Okay.
and you can definitely sue them, Queen.
yeah.
Contact the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
Start there.
Turn down your background for me.
You say Better Business Bureau.
Yep. Then contact
Yeah.
Channel 11. Contact your problem solver, because they have all these TV stations. They have problem solvers, and they'll go and they'll ask, because they'll say that sounds extreme.
Mhm.
And right now,
Okay.
all these airlines are just running people's pockets broke.
Mhm.
So if
Because I'm saying, what if you didn't have a way somewhere to stay over? You'd have to sleep in that nasty
Nope.
airport, and that
Two things-
nasty
two
dirty
things.
airport.
two things, Queen. One, always go and say, I'm sorry, I have a medical condition, and this is definitely affecting it because
I use that. I use
I
this.
have a
Believe
no, here
me.
you go.
Yes.
Here you go, and you
Yes,
say,
I did.
tried. I have
I
tried
told
to.
them. Yes.
Wait a minute, Queen. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
I
I
have
did,
tried
though.
to talk to you, but I can't get you to understand. So I'm going to call your customer service emergency line. Then call your credit card company, because all credit card companies that you use to buy your airline ticket will assist you in times of emergency.
Mhm.
And one other thing, they are obligated to put you up in a hotel overnight if they are changing your flight. But you have to force them, and you should be compensated for that and for the inconvenience. So, like Sis said, climb, climb, climb,
Gotta climb
climb,
that
and do
ladder.
not stop until you are standing on the desk of the president.
You gotta. I'm telling you, and they don't want They definitely don't need nor want the bad publicity. So, Queen, we will just
Mhm.
encourage you all to continue
Yeah.
the fight to get your money back.
Yes.
Get your money
I
back
need
that you
my money
spent to
back.
come
Yeah.
home, and also the
Yeah.
money, because you can. It should be like a 3 times compensation on that. Alrighty, so
Mhm.
look about that. Get going on that. Unnecessary road rage.
Mm-mm.
Unnecessary road rage. We're just gonna snippet on that one. And I know that the Respecter had something to say in regards to that as well. But we're gonna snippet on that. I was looking, news break came up on my phone, and it showed on 285. There's a highway here in Atlanta, in Georgia, in Atlanta, and it's called I-285 here. And there were 2 cars speeding past this particular truck that had his camera on and was recording the road. Do you know these fools started shooting at each other? Cars are in between them,
Mhm.
and they are letting off shots upon shots to each other with cars. Even the truck driver stated that he was caught right in between and he almost got hit. I mean, where is the senses? And you know what? You know what the sad thing about it is too? He was videoing, but he was unable to really get a picture of the license plate. So these people kept driving and shooting, and one exit and the other don't know what happened. No one got. God is so great that no one got hurt
Sure. Thank God.
during this madness, but they got away. They were able to get, they got away because no one was able to get a proper license plate. So I'm hoping all of these
it's the other day.
satellites, I'm hoping all of these satellite things and all of these things can come into effect and get some type of plate, because I-285 have cameras and stuff like that on them. So I'm hoping they try to find this madness out. What were you getting ready to say, Queen?
No, I was saying that, it's a terrible thing. Look, what, 2 years ago? Was it 2 years, a year or 2 years ago, where right here on Redan Road, where the boy, he was so upset because she didn't go through the amber light, and he fired a shot in there and shot the little baby in the back seat, in his car seat, and killed him. Road rage is a terrible thing, and people need to think, I mean, well, anyway, sometimes they're on drugs, they're lost. My son says some of them are zombies driving.
Yeah, I don't think they
You
were on
know,
drugs or
so
anything. I think that those they were maybe dealing drugs, or they may be gang members, or something to that effect.
yeah.
But I don't think,
Well, they had
because
caught that boy, didn't they? Remember? You remember that
I
story?
don't.
I
I
think they
honestly
caught him
don't.
though.
But the Respect had something on the road rage.
Yeah, well, like normal, I don't speed. I never leave home in a rush. So wherever I'm going, I always give myself time. And I make sure I drive the speed limit though. But these folks, they don't care what traffic is coming the opposite direction. They're going around me. And not only me, the next person in front of me, when they cut between me and that person, first chance they get, they're going around that person too. So you go in the opposite direction, you're either going to swerve or break up, and the person behind you is going to run in your back. And it's just too much going on in the city. And you hardly see a police on the streets that they need to be on. And, it was very disturbing a couple of days ago hearing that someone I know well, young, 30s, is not here no more on her way to work. Somebody ran into her and took her out of this world. And the strange thing about it, the person that caused that were able to walk out of her car, walk around and talk. It seems like, none of it makes sense. And it's just no answer. Really no answer for it.
It's a sad thing, and our prayers go out to the family of your friend whom lost their daughter. Um, based off of just the madness of everyday driving, and that brings me back to say once again, we just have to love each other, and let the one whom in our lives know that we love them, because the next second, minute is not guaranteed to anyone. So to the family, once again, the entire Powerhouse Radio sends out their prayers and their hugs out to that family and to you as well. The respect you all
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
Yeah, but senseless road rage is just senseless. Exactly, just senseless.
Mm.
It's foolishness.
And half of the time they're not going where you see them zoom past you when you look down the road. You see the red light. They can't go anywhere. I mean,
that's
I
that's
see it
that's
all
the
the
thing
time.
too. I always be like, I don't know how far you going, but I just let
Do
them
you
go
know?
on. I'm not, and I don't argue with them. I don't fight with anyone cutting me off. I don't argue. There was a time years ago when I would give them, you know, argue, pull up, even
Mm,
pull up on them and be like, "Oh, you stupid, you stupid." Now
mhm.
I just let them go on because
Let them
these
go on.
people are crazy. These people are
Not worth it.
mental. Mama asked, did you want to touch it? Road rage.
Yes, because in Michigan we have some problems like that, but I don't know if you saw the video last week where a bunch of cars just cut off one of the main intersections, and it's about a mile from me, and they start doing donuts and spinning, and somebody jumped in the middle with some fire, and the police couldn't do anything. They were sitting there. They had 3 cars of police sitting there. They couldn't stop them. They were actually driving from place to place doing this. The police start chasing them. They call other cars, which show up and start this mayhem in the street. Now, these are those fast cars. The police don't like to chase them because they've been having accidents of people being getting killed. So now the police don't chase you anymore. They have cameras. And in Michigan, nobody wanted cameras. The police went to court after all these shooting incidents. There was a shooting incident less than a month ago where a little girl was in her car seat in the back of the car.
Mm.
A guy pulled up beside them and thought that it was somebody else's car.
Oh, I saw that.
Uh,
I saw that.
yeah,
I saw that. But
it was,
I thought it was
that's unnerving.
I thought it was one where the boyfriend and the girlfriend, the guy came and took his car, and the boyfriend and he took the car and went home, and his friend asked him to use the car, and when the friend drove the car, the boyfriend and the girl drove behind that car thinking that it was the ex-boyfriend that was in the car, and start firing and killed his roommate
Yep, that
versus
happened too.
him. That is
Yeah.
it. I
What?
mean, just the
They don't
it's,
even have to know you. They just see a vehicle.
yeah,
They don't even associate the fact that there may be 10,000 of those vehicles made,
yeah.
and you are looking at one vehicle and just shooting into it.
Mm-hmm.
The mentalness,
It's,
the mental capacity of these
So yeah,
people.
yeah,
That's so sad. So sad.
yeah,
So sad.
and
so
that
you know
even
it's
take you
dangerous.
into this young lady that killed her mom. I mean,
Those
Mm.
all of those are just mental people,
mental,
mental. And I don't know. I
mental.
don't know what's going on with people's mental capacity right now. Um, you know, it's a crazy thing. Talking about mental, and Sean Diddy Combs.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna touch him
Mm-hmm.
briefly, and then we're gonna get into the what Putin says. Alrighty,
Yes,
and
yes.
we also need to get into a small snippet of Paula Llewellyn, because we didn't get a chance to really research that. Um I just saw a couple of headlines stating that she's going to resign from her position as DDP in Jamaica, which that is really enlightening to hear. I'm just like, okay, I really have to
Okay, but
watch
wait,
these videos.
didn't
But
we announce that last year?
yeah, but we're not gonna get
But
on that. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. Let's go to P. Diddy first. So Sean Diddy Combs, it is crazy on what's happening with him. Feds raid his Florida and California homes, and to take documents, phones, computers, any type of electronic, all of these things. And it is one of the principal departments in the FBI that has raided him, and they are one that normally deals with a lot of human trafficking. So this situation here with Diddy is sad. You know, um man, imagine, a lot of sexual assaults. They the his ex-girlfriend Cassie had already filed charges. They tried to shut her up real quick by paying her what she wanted. And then there was another one, but then now is this Rodney Jones guy, Little Rod, that
Mhm.
he's coming out with a lot of information in
Mhm.
regards to Diddy. And there's a lot of worry. Diddy is in
Not just
hiding.
him, not
Yeah.
just him, Husher too, because Husher been talking about his pussy flavor Cam when he was like 15, 16 year old. And
Mhm.
he said that he introduced him to you know, sex scenes and what have you. It's a lot of stuff coming out and he has a lot on him. Right now he's no one can find him. But some sources are saying that he went on vacation with his two daughters. But they're saying ever since the raid, no one hasn't seen him or heard from him.
Well, it's been out there all over the place about this. Go ahead, the respecter.
Thing about it is sad,
Hmm.
and I question these situations that the P Diddy and all these multi-millionaire people who have been so fortunate to have that good life that so many of us wish to have, and see how they handle themselves. We're not supposed to have no mercy on someone if we found out that what they're accused of, as far as a child is concerned. But not only them, the parent or parents of those child that allow their young child, male or female, to go spend a day and night at a grown man or woman house, cost of money, they need to be charged as well.
Hmm.
They need to be locked up for the
That
way.
was the talk with when all that stuff happened with R. Kelly. These young girls that their family, their parents had them going into his house. So imagine now the gravity of it with 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 Diddy, being a big record label mogul, and all of these allegations that are being posed. They've also been watching, I guess was his name, Brendan Paul or something to that effect is his name. And they're saying it's alleged that he's the drug mule for Diddy, and that Diddy and a lot of them is starting to
Yeah.
really quiver
Mm.
in their boots, because if he decides to turn state witness, if there becomes a case, because he's facing a
But
lot of
but he
charges
was
right now.
arrested. You
Yeah,
know, he was
yeah,
arrested.
that's what I was
Hmm.
saying. That he was facing a lot of charges right now. He was caught with cocaine and some other controlled
Yeah.
substances in his bag, boarding Diddy's private jet. It's alleged that he
Hmm.
was boarding Diddy's private jet. So in Miami. So we will definitely um watch the outcome of what's going on here. And they're calling a lot of names. A lot of names are being
Lot
called.
of names. Yep.
Cuba Gooding,
Hmm.
Prince Harry, Jennifer Lopez, even for some
Hmm.
shooting that took
Yep.
place, and illegal gun. And I mean, a lot of names are being called through this. So, yeah, is this things that makes you go, what's going to happen?
Mm.
Yeah.
Watch
Does
it
anybody
comes to
remember
light.
Hmm.
remember Epstein?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because even that,
Hmm.
even and last night, Let's Gripe was talking a little bit about it, and they were even talking about Hugh Hefner, the big Playboy person, that he was in a lot of stuff and didn't. It's alleged that he was in a lot of things, and he was never charged or done nothing. So then they bring it back to Tony was bringing it back to, is it because Diddy's melanated skin black, why it's being kind of thrown out of proportion? Before we go further, Don said, anyone heard about the Jamaican MP who it is alleged have opened a funeral home, and that this funeral home has been getting all the dead bodies? Also, another MP owns an empty building that the government is paying him rent even though the building continues to be empty for a long time. He says, please look into that for the next show. Oh, yeah, we're definitely, I didn't hear about that, Don. I did not hear about that one. But yeah.
Also, the prime minister, he walked out of the 224, 226 budget meeting.
Oh yeah,
That
but
was a
yeah,
new flash.
we need to
Yeah.
talk about
Mm.
that next week. But we also need
Next
to
week, yeah.
research this,
Mm-hmm.
Don, about the funeral homes. You know,
Mm.
we before we stray off of Diddy and the rest of our topics, that funeral home situation. I think the funeral homes really need to be investigated. In
Mm-hmm.
regards to a lot of these bodies and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna touch it next week. We'll go further into it next week. We'll touch that
Yeah.
next week. Yeah. But with the Diddy, Acid, you want to touch that real quick, and then we're gonna go on over to what Putin says.
Like I said, Epstein. So all that they took out of the mansions allowed them to be able to connect all the dots from all the different cases. The girl who he took from Detroit, he and his co-producer Harv Bernard, um, she's well known in Detroit, and she's been talking about this for a while. So they're not gonna have any problems proving any of these cases. The thing is, I had to be honest and say that every time I start looking at this and thinking about it, it really sends chills down my spine because human trafficking, especially sex trafficking, and all the things that Cassie went through, and he paid her immediately. Look at all these other people. He put a note up the other day saying enough is enough. Okay, so if enough is enough, I hope he has enough to pay
Mhm.
because the evidence is there. Otherwise, Homeland Security wouldn't have went. At the same time, he was outside walking around and pacing furiously outside of the APHIS office when this boy was being arrested, and he immediately had his people post the bail to get this boy out. Now, there's more discussions about other people who are out there moving around, carrying things for him and doing things for him, just like Cassie said that he forced her to do.
Mhm.
So
And
this
Jennifer
crosses
Lopez.
so many lines. It is really scary. And I have to say that this is too common in entertainment and
Mhm.
we see it right in front of us and some of us just ignore it and just dance to the music instead of us saying no,
Yeah.
we got we got enough problems. We really don't need to endorse this.
And a lot of
You
persons are
know,
giving them the benefits of the doubt and saying that they're trying to make honest money, you know. But when they're in this gangsterism thing, we really have
Mm-hmm.
to look at it. We when a lot of them that is and I'm sorry to say that is brought up in the gangsterism lifestyle. They
his
really need to
mother,
be checked.
don't forget, don't leave his mother out.
Yeah, they need to check upon them. Yeah. So
His
we're
father,
gonna
remember, his
watch.
father was working for these people, and
Mhm.
then he decided to turn on the people, and that's when they took him out that weekend.
Mm.
And they gave his mother gobs of money just to be quiet.
Mhm.
So he grew up this way.
Yeah. So I mean just all of the individuals, all of these gangster rappers and all of these things, we need to be mindful of and our youths need to be mindful of whom they're listening to and whom they're supporting
We're
in this
supporting,
industry.
yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
this
Can you link that
industry.
into? Can you link that right quick?
I'm sorry?
Can you link that right quick to Vibes Cartel and that whole lifestyle of it travels across the ocean on cruise ships?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the Vibes Cartel situation next week as well. In regards to, that's why we're gonna even visit the Paula Llewellyn situation and her resigning and the entire privy council court business that was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of that definitely ties together with Vibes
Mm.
Cartel. So yeah, we definitely need to link all of that. But the whole gangsterism of music needs to be investigated, you know, and dance hall and rap and you know, they all of it needs to just be looked into really, really, really closely, you know.
Okay, so here's
Mhm.
my question.
Yeah,
You're gonna do this next week, right?
yeah.
I want to come back next week for that, but
Oh yeah.
I want to say this.
Mhm.
How do we know? And this is probably going to make me real angry that I'm saying it myself. How do we know that this was not the plan from the beginning? Because that's the reason why they sent Siaka. Siaka came back to make records, remember? And immediately after making records, all the gang wars started because he immediately gunned up the factions against each other. So oh, I'm going to be waiting with bated breath for next week.
Well, things
I'll
that makes you
honestly say
go,
that.
things that these
Mhm.
this next week seems to be a show that's gonna be things that makes you go,
That too.
things that makes you go, All right. Well, that's something to
Mhm.
think about. Siaga being set back. Well, we're gonna talk about that. We thanks for putting that plug in there, Mama Acid. We're gonna talk about that. Um, let's it's 9:25. We started a little bit late. So we just about started almost half an hour out of time. So that's why I'm jumping and dabbing into things and trying not to drag it out too far. A lot of the conversations because we have 35 more minutes to go, and I think that this Putin's revelation, Putin's revelation, yeah, that is the sinker to it. But real quickly, Paula Llewellyn, do you think she's gonna resign, Queen?
I don't know.
Yo,
I
no,
don't
the
think so.
respecter.
I don't know
So.
either.
Yo, no, Mama
Yeah.
Acid.
About 2 years ago, when
Nah,
the
nah,
Vibes
nah. There's just
Cartel
yeah,
thing
it's
was
yes or no,
going,
yes or no, yes or no.
yes, yes, she's going to be resigned or forcefully removed. And I sent you a message a couple weeks ago saying that she was going to be forced dipped. And you laughed and said, but she's Jamaican. And I said, but she's going to leave Jamaica.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
being self-deported.
yeah. You
So
said
she's
that.
gotten a big amount of money to keep her mouth shut, and now she has to run. But the question is, where is she going to go? I said she was
So
going to
what?
Britain.
So what about the cartel case?
No, we're not talking about the card. Go ahead.
Okay, next week. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
next week.
It's the case
We
that
not,
made her. It's the case that made her quit, and that's why
yeah.
we
Cartel
need to
ran her
really
out of
explore that.
Jamaica. Cartel ran her out of office. We're gonna talk about it. Because we need a good amount of time to sit on that. Let's gripe. Tonya said, "Good evening, everyone. Good
Good
evening.
evening,
Greetings to you,
man.
Tonya. Tonya, we just called your name. We called your name when we was touching a little bit of the Diddy, the Sean Diddy Combs topic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
listen, we're gonna touch Vibes Cartel, Paula Llewellyn, we're going to touch all of those. We're going to touch the Jamaican MP with the funeral home, an empty building. The government paying rent for an empty building. I wonder if that's where they're storing the bodies. Don.
Okay.
Woo, that's that's that's
Mm.
that's some topic. I haven't heard Donna. I haven't heard Donna. But anyway, Black Jesus and prophets. Did you all hear what Putin said?
Yep.
Oh, and
And, and
why isn't this being talked about? Is and my question is why isn't this being talked about? And my other question is what is going to happen with these white supremacists? is that going to lead to more attacks on Black people now that they are being told that Black people um is Jesus? Well, Jesus was Black, not Black people,
Well,
but that Jesus was Black, and that a lot of the kings and prophets and so on were also Black. I mean, like, what do you all feel
well,
really their reaction is going to be to this news? Are they going to turn against Putin? What about Trump? Isn't Trump and him really um at odds? But let's take a quick listen to this, because a couple of people tell me that they haven't heard it. So I'm just gonna play it. Here we go.
People of Russia, today, we stand on the precipice of a monumental revelation, a moment that redefines not only our understanding of history, but also the path forward for our great nation. In an extraordinary discovery, hidden beneath centuries of lore and legend, we have opened what can only be described as the oldest vault known to mankind. What we found within its ancient confines challenges the very fabric of our beliefs and heralds a new dawn for our country. Within this vault, we discovered figures of biblical proportions, characters that many have read about, debated, and revered. These figures, preserved against the sands of time, reveal a truth that is as profound as it is transformative. They are all Black. This revelation, this undeniable truth, stands before us not as a contradiction to our faith, but as a testament to the diversity and unity that faith embodies. As your president, I see this moment not as a challenge to our beliefs, but as an opportunity to embrace a wider, more inclusive understanding of our history and spirituality. Russia, in its rich tapestry of cultures, traditions, and peoples, is uniquely positioned to lead the world into this new era of understanding and acceptance. From this day forward, let us proclaim our nation under the guidance of Black Jesus, a figure who represents not just the cornerstone of Christian faith, but also a symbol of the universal values of love, compassion, and brotherhood. This Black Jesus, whose likeness and history have been unveiled from the oldest vault, is a message to us all that divinity knows no color, that spiritual truth transcends race, and that our common humanity binds us more tightly than our differences divide us. Let this discovery remind us that history is not just the story of those who wield power, but also of those whose contributions have been overlooked or forgotten. It challenges us to re-examine what we know, to question our assumptions, and to open our hearts to the broader possibilities of understanding and faith. As we embark on this journey of discovery and understanding, let us do so with open minds and compassionate hearts. Let us build a nation that truly reflects the teachings of the Black Jesus, a nation that stands for justice, equality, and love for all, regardless of race or creed. Ladies and gentlemen,
Now, what do you all think about that?
well,
Is this going to lead?
the-
Would this? Do you think this is going to bring the races together? Is it going to bring a further divide in races?
well, right now, lady, the Vatican is angry. That was alleged that the Vatican, they are angry, right? But they're saying that these the paint from these paintings were real paint, and it was not, the color was not changed through oxidation, because this was tested after they discovered this. It was tested, and they're saying that this paint is from them centuries, and it was not the color pigmentation of the skin that was shown was not from oxidation, so it's real. But of course, it's gonna be hard for white folks to embrace that, especially the Jews to embrace it. So who knows what's gonna happen?
I don't know
Hey,
why Jews will what Jews, they're black. Although
I'm in.
Don't tell
contrary
them
I'm
that.
to
in. I'm standing here. I mean,
although
I'm here. Yeah,
although
we are black.
contrary to a lot of beliefs, they might think that they're white. I mean,
um,
but
Those are not Jews. Those are Ashkenazis. They're
okay,
Jewish.
okay, okay. So I mean, like, why would they be upset on something like? And I'm even looking at the skinheads and the um the ones that scream for black white power and rednecks and those things. Would do how What is y'all thought? Do y'all feel that there may be more incidents now as to crime being done on black persons? um what's y'all thought? The respecter?
Well, many of us know that from history. We knew that. We have heard it. It was taught to us by someone in our families or teachers that the Jesus that they have now is not the actual Jesus. But when black folks share that with black folks, those black folks get angry because for whatever reason they don't want to accept that their own complexion is great. And they have trained and became like a cult, believing that everything good is white and that Jesus, the white Jesus that they know about, is the actual Jesus. And the Jesus that I was told that exists thousands and thousands of years ago from Africa started with the letter G. And this was my own discovery that this country came about because I was told also in history that this country was destroyed at one point, that this country had to start over. And they decided that they want to be the number one in the world. They want to rule the world. And that's why they turned alphabetical into chronological. They took the world sport, football, and they want to name it soccer. They want the world to adapt to their belief, their way of life. So Christianity and government, in order for the white man to accept Christianity, they wasn't going to worship. Nowhere in hell they were going to worship or have a picture image of a black Jesus. So a change had to come about. And if you think back to the 2,000 years ago plus that they say Jesus was crucified, and many accept that crucifixion where the white Jesus and then on the right and left of the white Jesus is two black persons. And the insult of that is those two black persons was thieves, they was criminals. They steal. And we accept it, not realizing that bring forth Christianity, black folks are being freed from slavery, give them something of peace to believe in, give them something, keep them calm, cool, and collective so they won't rebel for what was done to them. So they did that as a trickery to confuse the mind, and we fall for it, not realizing or know better and refuse to do better because of fear. Jesus Christ would never been accepted. Actually, it wasn't Jesus Christ, it's just Jesus. But the Christ came about to bring forth Christianity. So So what Putin is doing and this story, I don't know why now. To me, it might be a trick because his buddy, Trump, needs black votes. And they're trying all kind of tricks to see how they can get black people once again confused to a point of rebellion against their own and fall for the okie doke. So it could be a trick to help and give support to someone who's trying to be president again. Or it could have some seriousness about what he's doing. But I doubt it. As for me, I doubt it.
There was a statement that I had read that, um, Putin is into the African countries. So maybe that is also a way for him to get another foot into um, the African countries. He's been trying to defend a lot of what's going on over there and the rebellion that's going on over there. So they were saying in regards to that, that may be one of his thing. Do you all feel that maybe that could also be the demise of Putin? Because even though you've said that that might get some votes for Trump, I haven't heard Trump came out and said anything in yay or nay of that revelation
Like
that
they say, wait for it.
we're
He's
gonna
gonna
wait for it.
piggyback on it.
All right, Queen.
Yes. Yes, I'm here, lady.
Yeah, no, your thought.
Well, like I said, I'm folks gonna
Oh,
do
you had
what they're
already given
doing,
your
yeah.
thought on it, right?
And I'm not. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It could be fake. It could be real.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Mama Acid.
Oh yeah. I would like to say something controversial, but I hope I won't get castigated for it because it's right before Easter, and they say you're supposed to be um, somewhat modest during Passover. So maybe he's showing the pictures because he wants people to see things he's stolen a long time ago. Because if you look at them and you really look at them and you look at him, you see they don't match. So I would say he went to somebody else's church and got that. And then they locked it up like a lot of other things that they've stolen. So when we go to the museum in London or in Germany and we see the gigantic pieces of sarcophagus and we see obelisks in other countries that we know specifically were taken from other countries, do we think that those people, that's theirs simply because they have it? And please forgive me, but as you know, I'm always the one with the toilet paper on my shoe.
So
You don't need no forgiveness.
So I guess we're going to be watching and seeing what comes, what's really the motive of it. Greetings, Donna. Donna says, "Good evening, all." Greetings to you, Donna.
You've been done.
Yeah. I guess we're going to see what the motive behind this revelation, this so-called revelation that Putin is putting out there, that he's opened the oldest vault. He said he's opened the oldest vault and biblical figures. Is it a ploy to get his feet into these African countries when they're trying to get those other countries out of there? Is it a ploy to help Trump? Which I don't know about that one, the respect as far as helping Trump, because Trump hasn't came out and said anything in regards to it. Yay or
You don't
nay.
think he learned from 2020?
Say that again.
You don't think he learned from 2020 not to let people know what's going on?
Because I would love for to hear Trump come up with something with that, to see what his white counterparts would
But
say.
he started already. He started already. Remember that. He's saying that black folks build this country. He did it last week.
I
That
didn't see
black
that.
folks build this country and blah, 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 blah.
He did. I didn't see that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Last week I was in total, my mind was
He's
boggled.
been,
Yeah.
he's been beating up black people and Jamaicans, Jamaicans with this and that, and
Well, someone said that
even
was,
calling.
someone had said that video with him about Jamaicans and all of that, being coming to here to this country and all of those things was, um, a made up thing. It's like someone took his
Now,
face and his mouth and.
he said those things too at his rally.
Mhm.
He's been speaking a lot about Jamaicans and black people in general. Yeah, he's a con man, so he's gonna con those weak black folks,
And they're
and he's already
falling
got
for it.
some.
And they're falling for it. Would you,
Yeah,
if this is if this so-called revelation is true, do you think that this will start to be the grounds of a thought of reparations, which I don't believe reparations is ever going to be? But if if this is something that's really really serious, would that start with would that open up a whole nother can of worms for the thought of reparations? What's your all thoughts on that?
I don't
What
think so. I
about
think it's
Haiti?
just gonna.
What about what acid?
Haiti, since you're talking about reparations, and since you're
Mhm.
talking about opening up cans of worms, what about Haiti?
We're not.
Are we
We
are we
touch
going
on
to
we
ignore
touch
the
on Haiti
first Black
already.
Republic?
Yeah, we
Now
definitely hit right.
we
We
touched on it already.
decipher Haiti already.
No, but I'm not talking about it that way. I'm saying
Mhm.
when we're looking at these plagiaristic vultures stealing parts of our culture and then pretending like we're being brought up to speed on something that they stole from us, do we still stand back and pretend like this is not our stuff and that we ain't supposed to be mad because they got our stuff in their basement in a closet locked up and we couldn't do nothing about it before, but now he's showing it out here?
And
When is when is this gonna matter to us? That's what I'm asking.
what are the black folks are going to do about getting back those artifacts and things such as you stated, acid, locking up things that didn't belong to them and now revealing it? What
I can tell
I
you what I've
want,
been seeing
what exactly
in
do
the
we,
news
what's in the news?
in France.
Hmm.
There's a couple brothers from, well, they're not only in France, they've been going a lot of places all over Europe. These two historians, they're actual curators of African art, have been going to museums and picking out pieces that they know are religious artifacts, and they just go into the display and start removing them. And then the police come and want to arrest them, and they say, "How can you arrest me for taking this thing that is mine that you don't even know about?" And then they start telling them the history of it and what it does, and it puts a total focus on not just the false accusation of these cultural artifacts, but the imprisonment of our culture in generality. It's a real big problem across the board that I find to be curious and humorous, in fact, that Vladimir Putin is all of a sudden opening up one of his closets and coming out with some fake masterpieces. Because to be real with you, which I probably shouldn't do, but I'm hoping that they're not really listening.
Be real.
They got these things from either black churches during that period of time, because why would they be painting these? Why would they have these? These are artifacts that they stole. We see the same okay.
But if they're
The same
artifacts that
archival
they,
theft is
if they
all
are,
over Europe, duplicated in museums right now, even in America.
but if they're artifacts that they stole, are they real? Are they depicting a real time?
Yep, they are, and they stole them.
So
And we not
then
mad,
that brings us
and
back
we not
again.
mad.
That brings
We
us
not
back,
trying to find out where they stole them from.
and it's not even in the news. And that brings back
Why Pastor Johnson them ain't down there about that?
that brings back the fact as to if these are really real, and Putin
Where's
really
Creflo
had
Dollar?
these,
He got a private jet.
and
Well, even better,
Putin
where is
and Putin
DDDY?
really wait a minute, and Putin
Oprah.
really had these in a vault and is opening them, then that's something for melanated skin to people to really start thinking about. If these are not fake artifacts, and as you're stating, Acid, they're real, so these things are depicting real time.
Yes, there's a woman named
So
Isis Blavatsky who was a Russian courtesan, and she was one of the first people to describe things that they stole from different places in Europe and even in Egypt. I have Blavatsky 1 and 2, Isis Unveiled, and when I read them, I wrote a paper on some of the different specifics of why she talks about what these articles really mean to them and the power that they get from them. Don't think that he's showing this to you because he's going to give it to you. He's learning how to use it. They know who is in control. I'm sorry, I got to be real with y'all tonight. But that's what's happening. We're sitting here looking at it. They got the oracles, and ain't nobody mad about it.
Mama Acid,
Yeah.
for years and years, majority of us from the 50s, 60s, 70s, Africans, islanders, mainly, we knew the stories of the white man in Africa. Everything was stolen from Africa by the white man in other countries. Every kings and queens of Africa, day by day, villages was raided, people were killed, murdered, and everything was sucked out of Africa. So we know that England, the queen and the king for how many centuries, thousands and thousands of years, have all these warehouses mile long with gold stacked from floor to ceiling. We have seen the videos, the movies, and all the cars, everything that was invented by black man and woman, they took for themselves. Wait.
Go back one step. What about when they was grinding up the mummies and grinding up scrolls, drinking them and eating them, claiming that they were going to get the power from that?
They're still doing it, Mama. They're still doing it.
So let's take it 2 steps even back. What are we doing? What are we going to do about getting them back?
I think we fixated on Diddy getting his jet confiscated and Tucci and Carucci and anything but us. Unfortunately, I gotta sound like Cornell right now because don't nobody want to hear TD Jakes. But the question is this: what is the new gospel and who's in charge of it and what's the purpose of it. Okay? Who sanctioned it? Can we all say together, the Vatican, who sanctioned all this war and everything else all over the
Queen
world?
already said that the Vatican is
Vatican.
Queen already
Why
said
do
it
we
angry.
keep seeing people going to the Vatican if the Vatican is not a political pawn or political leader? Either or. I'm trying to find out the middle way because in my mind right now, anytime anybody want to do something, the first thing they do is find out, well, what's his name going to say?
Mhm.
We already know because we can look at it and see who they are. They stole Amen. They wearing his crowns. They performing his very same rituals, except now they have turned them against us because we don't want to remember our power or who we are or even our things. To see Putin on the internet like that the other night, I looked at it and I thought to myself, when I was at the Vatican, I went to the museum and I looked up first at Bernini's painting, and then I looked at the Sistine Chapel at the painting of David over in the corner in the angels. And when you go on a Wednesday, they don't really like put you right out because they have a lot of these African tour groups that come in because they usually come in on Wednesdays because that's the cheapest day for them to fly. Now, there's sometimes a papal audience and sometimes there's a mass on that day. And if you know what he's saying and you study Latin, yes, I studied Latin, I don't remember it, but some words trigger some stuff. And they will give you the liturgy in English. So if you compare it and you find out that some of the things that they have told you in the English version are different than the Greek version, the French version, or even the real Latin version. They have you participating and surrendering your own power because I come to God and I pray to the Almighty God to lift me from my powerless state by reaffirming my faith, not only in his blood and the strength of his word. What are we saying here? Are we lifting ourselves above Amen with another sacrifice? I took one little short class when I was there, and this is I think the last thing I should say was the information about the liturgy and the sacrament. Know that I am not Catholic. I have never been Catholic, and I was forced to have to study certain things in order to understand some other things so that when I was asked questions, I could logically respond because I felt totally foreign to it. There is a doctrine called Dum Diversus. Most of us don't know about it, but it was written in the 1400s by a pope who said that the Spanish crown and the Portuguese crown could combine and they could clean up their countries if they made a really big contribution to tribute the Vatican. Now, remember that the Vatican had the largest army in the world at that point because all of the soldiers of God were soldiers of the Vatican. It didn't matter what country you were in. If you were with the Catholic Church, there were soldiers attached to that church, and you served the Pope. The Pope is your leader. People got to remember that these things are the Swiss Guard. That's real. That's still happening. Okay. When they decided to clean up the so-called citizenry and correct the wealth quotient, the Catholic Church wanted a percentage of what they would get in the investment for saying, okay, you can do it. In other words, we'll sanction your army to be able to carry out this task. So they said anybody who does not want to be
Compact it. We got 3 minutes. Go ahead.
right, who doesn't want to become Catholic and Christian, You are going to be labeled Jew, and Jew means slave. And within 4 years, we're going to take your kids, all your wealth, and then we're going to deport you. And the Catholic Church sanctioned each ship, which is why one of the main slave ships that came to America, the second ship that carried William Tucker, was called Jesus. We could talk about that another time because I'm sure y'all probably scratching your heads trying to figure out.
I was just, Mama asked it.
Go ahead. Respect.
Mama asked it.
Yes.
That is too much information that is put at us
She
one
was
time.
the one that said compress it.
Yeah.
You
I
gotta
wanted you because
say,
we got 3 minutes. You have 3
you
minutes.
gotta say, you gotta let us know you're gonna have a 10-minute sermon.
Oh my goodness!
So
Because
we can.
this is deep though. This is really deep in regards to the.
It's deep, but
But
it's deep, but not just like that. She's caught us off guard with this.
yeah, we definitely and you've given enough for us to go and do our own research on. We need to check
But
about
when
the
I
Spanish
I left
crown
out.
when I,
This is the
and
last
the
point.
Portuguese
no, keep that one for
crown.
next week.
The last point is real easy.
Uh-huh.
The richest country and the newest country in the world, in that sense, is a declared country in Palestine that is called Israel, the United Federation of Israel. Okay. It says it's a
Okay.
federation because it was never instituted as a country until the United Nations declared so in 1945.
Okay.
They formed, but in 1948
we will
they
get
became a
deeper.
country, and at that point they start collecting money from all over the world
Okay.
to police brown people.
All right. We're gonna
So
get further
who's in
in
charge of the
there.
war all over the world?
We
The
will
United
get
Nations.
we will get further into that. Maybe that has to do with this war over there in Iran, and we'll talk about these stuff a little bit more deeper with us doing this research. Mama Acid has a lot of information because Mama Acid had years to study these information
I'm
and
gonna
being and
I'm
going to
gonna beg.
school for anthropologists and all of these things. So a lot of the artifacts part of it and a lot of the history part of it, she's had the opportunity to research that for years, which we're just getting a crash course in 10 minutes. So it's a lot to grasp all at once, but it is interesting. So
Very interesting.
we will have to make another date for all of that information. Not next week, because next week our plates are already full. Because next week we're going to be dealing with Paula Llewellyn. We're going to be dealing with Vibes Cartel. We're going to be dealing with the Jamaican MP and the funeral homes and the empty buildings and the paying rent on those. And I think there was one more thing that we have on our list already for next week with whatever else that is going to be taking place. Donna had said they are grinding them up right now. Was one of the when I guess my master was saying something about grinding them up and eating them. So listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the listeners once again, if you're missing a little bit, you are missing a lot, because coming in close to the end or in the middle, you already missed a lot. Okay, so don't miss a lot next week. Make sure that you tune in early and get what we're talking about, what we're reasoning on right here on Reasoning Thursdays. Just want to thank each and every one for listening, because we have to get off of the air. Queen, you want to say something to the listening audience?
Well, it was really awesome. I mean, the topics was deep. And I just want to say, just keep subscribing, keep sharing with your friends and family members. Remember to press that thumb up button and tune in. We try to bring you the best out there and the current. So keep tuning in. Love you guys. Have a blessed week.
All right, Darespecta, I know
Peace
you was
out.
trying to The respect.
Yeah,
I know you was trying to get a
yeah,
point
truth.
across. Go ahead and make your point, and then go ahead and say Arrivederci to the
Yeah, truth be told, every race is focused on the black race. The black race is focused on every other race but their race. And that's one of the biggest problems we have.
listeners. Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot to change it, to change us. Because no matter what, the poorest of us are focused on attention, hair, fake hair, looks, all the vanity of life. And they don't spend no time sitting with one another and discussing and planning and how to prevent situations that may come at their doorstep, how to protect their family, their children, their loved ones, how to plan to get ahead to have enough or more than enough. And we are not planning to destroy the white race or any other race, but every race is planning how to destroy we. And we need to open our eyes to that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys.
Definitely. Mama Acid, you want to leave out with something?
I would just like to say thank you for the invitation. Thank you, co-hosts. Y'all are absolutely fabulous. And listeners, please continue to listen in because if you miss just a little bit, you will have no idea what nonsense I am talking about.
You, they have no not they have no
That's a
idea.
good one.
They have no idea of the nonsense that we all are talking about. Okay. And I just want to thank each and everyone once again for joining us each and every Thursdays right here on Reasoning Thursdays. Want to say blessings and much shout outs to Donna. Big up yourself to Donna, big up yourself. Let's Scribe, big up yourself, and each and everyone else that is logging on. As Let's Scribe says, subscribe, like, and share. And do make sure that you listen to Let's Scribe on a Wednesday with Tonya Marcus and McKenna each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. up until the 8 o'clock hour. And as you're doing right now with us at Reason and Thursdays, each and every Thursdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with yours truly, Lady D. Queen, Darespecta, Mama Acid be checking in, Don Minot be checking in, Donna be checking in. You don't want to miss it each and every Thursdays. And be sure to join me, Lady D, for the Lady D show each and every Saturdays. For news, views, interviews, the best in the music, joke of the day, what you know about it. And did you know? So tell a friend and a friend and a family member to tune in on Saturday from 12 p.m. up until the 4 o'clock hour. You got R&B, you have a soca, you have dancehall, you have reggae, you have it all right there on the Lady D show each and every Saturdays, 12 p.m. up until the 4 o'clock hour. Next week, we're going to continue our reasoning. If you have a reasoning topic that you'll like us to discuss, send it on over to dapowerhouseradio@gmail.com. That's dapowerhouseradio@gmail.com. And if you have a reasoning topic that you would like for us, and do remember our motto, we agree to disagree. There's no topics that is off limits right here on Reasoning Thursdays, each and every Thursdays. Also, please go over to our YouTube channel, like it, subscribe on it, and hit that notification button. And if you receive the link for any of the programming right here on the Powerhouse Radio, please be sure to share it. Tell a friend, and a family member, even a colleague, even who you don't like. Just say, yo, check them out right here on the Powerhouse Radio. That's DAPowerhouseradio.com. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. All righty. So loving it to the maximum, loving it to the max. Big ups and thank you for joining us once again.
Night, night.
Night, night,
That's
arrivederci. And loving it to the maximum. All right. Leaving out with the big man himself, the big man himself, Don Minded. Big up yourself, Don. We're gonna touch you. We're gonna touch you up. We're gonna touch you up. I'm gonna touch you with I see trouble. How about that? We're gonna I don't know, how about I see trouble on the horizon. Because let me tell you something. I don't know what Putin has up his sleeve, what Trump has up his sleeve, but we're preparing ourselves for it.
Holiness have up his sleeve.
What wholeness has up in his sleeve?
Holiness got some
All right.
things up his sleeve too.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. Loving it to the maximum. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's Gripe says good night. Good night to you. Let's Gripe. Big up yourself. Loving it to the maximum.
I see trouble on the horizon. I see trouble coming from a distance. Oh, I see trouble on the horizon. And I see my people putting up resistance. Liberation is all we see. While injustice is at its peak, liberation is all we see. While injustice is at its peak, I see trouble on the horizon. I see trouble coming from a distance. Oh, I see trouble on the horizon, and I see my people putting up resistance. Putting up resistance, putting up resistance.